everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about the books that I read last week. So if you haven't seen one of these videos, what I do is basically what I just said. I just am going to tell you the books that I read last week, both middle grade and adult, and that's it. So in the last week, I read a lot of books that felt just okay to me, and so I'm feeling just minorly slumpy because, well, as far as the star ratings go, I had 1 DNF, I had 2 2.5 stars, 1 3-star, 3 3.5 stars, and 2 4 stars. And so my average was 3.3, which is kind of low for me. And now looking back on the week, I'm thinking some of those were a little bit generous even in the ratings. And so it's been kind of a meh week. Also, you will see there's a lot of tropes that accidentally are the same in like all these books. And so I feel like it just all kind of runs together. So let's start with the middle grade and we'll go from there. So first I read The Great Cake Mystery by Alexander McCall Smith. He's the author of the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency, which is an adult series. And this follows the character Precious from that series. It's like her prequel series when she was a kid. And so she is like talking to her dad about where he grew up and all that kind of stuff. But the main premise of this, it's called The Great Cake Mystery in this version, but I've heard it is called other things too. But there's basically like at her school or whatever, sweets are going missing, people's like a cake, some other like sweet stuff. And they pin it all on this, this overweight kid. And it's so fat phobic. And like, she's the only one who's like, hey, you can't judge him just because of his body. Like, that is not automatically mean he is the thief. And so, yeah, this was awful. So I would not recommend this at all. Then I read Mason-Dixon Pet Disasters. This is one that we have from the library as well as physically, like we have it on our shelves now. And this is one, we love Claudia Mills and have really loved her stories. And this one was just okay for me. So this is about a boy named Mason-Dixon, and he is not really a pet person, but his best friend is. However, his best friend's dad has allergies. So Mason has all these pets for his best friend, and things keep happening with the pets. There's a time where their friendship kind of is challenged, all of that. I thought this was very okay. So there's that. I think this is the start of a series, and I'm not really interested in continuing on, but I didn't see anything really problematic in this, so I'm fine with my daughter reading these. I don't really care. And then also, lastly, is Be Prepared. This is about a Russian girl named Vera who doesn't really fit in with the kids at her school. She just is like, her family is very immersed in Russian culture. And so things are just a little bit different for her. And so all her friends are going to different camps in the summer, and she finds a Russian summer camp. And so she's really excited to go. When she gets there, she does not love it at all, and things are not what they seem, and her brother's having a great time, but she doesn't really fit in there either, and so it's just her experience at summer camp. This was also fine. So all my middle grades were fine, and middle grade is honestly where I get a lot of my 5 stars, middle grade and nonfiction, because I'm much more generous with them. If they give me the warm fuzzies, I feel good about that, but all of those were just okay. So then next is A Stroke of Luck. This is a bind-up of At Last and Forever in a Day by Jill Shalvis. I did not like At Last, and I hate to say I did not like Forever in a Day either. This is a part of the books are number 5 and 6 in the Lucky Harbor series. However, they're all standalones. And so this is about a single dad. He is an ER doctor. He is responsible for both his sister, his teenage sister, and his own young son. And then Grace, and she is from a wealthy family, but she's kind of the black sheep. And whatever, they just interact, and their relationship started as a physical thing and then developed, and I don't love that. I am unhauling this, and I don't think the Lucky Harbor series is for me. This one next is A Total Waste of Makeup by Kim Gruen and Felder. And so this is one that I got at the most recent library book sale and this, I don't know if it has good ratings or not, but this is kind of your classic early 2000s chick lit women's fiction. It was cute. It's about Charlie Edwards, and she's having some feelings because her younger sister is getting married before her. She's about to turn 30. She works for this movie star. Honestly, I enjoyed my reading experience of this, and I gave it 3.5 stars. It was really a fun book, and I just, now looking back, there's really nothing memorable about it. And even in the reading, like, our character is not the most endearing. The plot's not the most intriguing. It's just kind of, if you like those chick lit women's fiction, you will enjoy your time with this, but this is not something I'm like itching to reread. So I gave this 3.5 stars, but it's really probably more like a 3. I don't know if I'll keep it or not, because it's comforting in the sense that you know what you're going to get and you are just kind of relating to this gal, but it's definitely not the best of the genre. Then I read Honeysuckle Dreams, which is number 2 in the Blue Ridge series by Denise Hunter. And this was actually my absolute favorite of the series so far. So there's like a prequel novella, I think, and then number 1. And I liked this one the best. So this is Brady and Hope. So Brady has a infant son, and the mom has died, but they were like divorced or estranged. I don't know if they were ever married. They were not together when the mom died. And now the grandparents, the maternal grandparents, are kind of coming after Brady for this little boy because they say that he is not the biological dad. And so there's a little bit of a court case going on, and he needs a wife to show that he's got like a stable, good home life for this boy. And so he has a relationship of convenience, or a marriage of convenience, with his sister's best friend, who is Hope. And Hope is game for it because she has been through some trauma in past relationships that makes her think that like true love is never going to happen for her. And they're really, really good friends. They've grown up together. They've always really gotten along. And so she's like, sure, I'll marry you. We'll step in and do this thing. And so I thought this was really sweet. She's a radio host, and so that was kind of fun. She's got her own thing going on. He's got his own thing going on, but they both really love this kid, and they both really love the sister. And like, it's just a sweet story. I really liked it. Then we've got Dreaming of a Heart Like Christmas by Sarah Robinson. So this is one that I thought I would not like at all, and it shocked me like how much I did like it. I'm not going to talk about it, the synopsis right now, because this is a part of a video that you will see later this month. But I was really surprised how much I like it, and now I don't know what to do with this, because it is not a bind up, but it's got a novella by Melinda Curtis called The Christmas Wish that I gave 3 stars. I don't know when I read it, but it was a while ago. But Dreaming of a Heart Like Christmas, it's the first in a series. I enjoyed it. Then last is The Words We Lost by Nicole Deese, and this one I really liked. So this is also the start of a series, and this is about a woman named Ingrid. I keep wanting to call her Indigo, but it's Ingrid. And she is a editor, but she is really going through a slump right now where she can't read, which is a bad curse for an editor. So she can't read. Everything she reads, it's like in one ear, out the other. She has no comprehension. It's just not working for her. And she has to go back and to where she grew up, kind of, because her best friend is Cece. And Cece was almost like, I'm thinking like a Rebecca Yarros, because she wrote this like fantasy series that was huge. And Cece died before she could finish the final book. And so her editor is like, hey, I need you to go find the final manuscript. See where it is. See if you can find it. I know it exists. Go find it. And so she goes back, and she interacts with Joel, who is Cece's cousin. And so growing up in their teen years and early adulthood, Joel, Ingrid, and Cece were thick as thieves, best friends, all the things. There was a romance between Joel and Ingrid. Goodness, I don't know why that won't stick. And so we're finding out about this through a manuscript that they find that is actually for a memoir for Cece. And so there's a lot of past and present timeline, both them trying to work things out with each other as well as their past, and her searching for this lost manuscript. Her boss is awful, and I was really not a fan of her. Her assistant is really sweet. There's a lot of side plots going on. Like, her dad has some alcohol issues. There's some things going on there. It was just really interesting. I will say I feel like it got a little long and a little a little unfocused at times, but this is a Christian fiction, and that's my other kind of complaint-ish, is this is a Christian fiction, but there's definitely some times where it kind of toes the line, and there's really no faith there's very minimal faith in this. So I would call it more of just like a contemporary book. So there is I think it's a duology. So there's a second one. I'm on hold for it. I'm definitely going to read it, and I really enjoyed this. So that is everything that I read last week. Some good ones, some whatever, but there's a lot of like brother's best friend, or like sister's best friend, brother's best friend, cousin's best friend. It was all kind of overlapping in my brain at times, and I was trying to read some of these simultaneously because like this one I read completely physically, some I was on audio, some I kind of did a mix, and so I don't know, I feel like nothing stood out as overly exceptional for me this week, which is fine. It just all felt kind of middle of the road. So I'm hoping this week will be better, but like I said, I'm not uber motivated to read, and so we'll see. It was just kind of one of those weeks. So that is it. Let me know if you've read any of these books or what you read this last week. That was great, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.